Hey guys, I'm Caitlin Goodwin, and today I'm going to be talking about the TR process, also known as APIDE. This process was created by the NCTRC in 1997 to standardize treatment nationwide. Before that, every rec therapist was doing it their way and doing what they thought was necessary or beneficial for the client, but the standard of care wasn't it was different everywhere. And so it's a lot better this way. And we have such an amazing tool to help guide us and help us in our field. This process has 5 different parts. They are assessment, planning, implementation, evaluation, and discharge. So assessment is the first one, and assessment is a summary of information compiled. So in this case, that's all of the information we need to know about our client. And we get all this information through interviews that we do personally with the client, through observation when we're watching the client, seeing how they interact with people and what they do in certain situations, and through standardized testing. These 3 ways will be super good in helping us know what we need to know about our client and how we can help them best. This is going to be through the interview, this is going to be the best way to start off that therapist-client relationship. And by having that relationship with them, we can start to create an environment that's safe for them, where they can trust us, and where they know that we're there to help them. And that'll be super essential in them cooperating with us and working with us. It'll be super good for when we're further on in the process and implementation. Another thing about assessments is that we need to be looking for what we are treating. If we don't take time to properly assess our client, then we're going to be fixing the wrong thing or working on the wrong condition or treating the wrong problem. So we need to be really sure about what we're working on, because if we don't work on the right thing, then we're going to be counterproductive, and that's not good. Not good for anyone. Things that we're assessing or looking for is emotional behaviors, cognitive behaviors, social behaviors, spiritual behaviors, leisure behaviors, functional abilities and skills, preferences, strengths, lifestyle needs, expectations, personal goals, concerns, strengths. There's so many things that we're looking for, and I'm barely made a dent by what I'm saying. It's super important that our assessment is super thorough, because this is used through the whole process. The rest of the therapy process, we're going to be comparing to our initial assessment. Later on during planning, we're going to be reevaluating, and during the evaluation, we're going to be mirroring our original assessment, asking the same questions. And this is our baseline. If we don't have a good baseline, then we can't really compare the progress that our clients have made during our therapy process. So it's super important. The assessment is super important. Planning is the next step. So planning is done not only with rec therapists, but we have a treatment team, and the whole treatment team is going to work together and find out what is going to be the most beneficial for our client. Depending on the client's situation, there could be anyone from doctors, surgeons, physical therapists, occupational therapists, psychiatrists, so many people. Anyone that's going to be taking care of our client and helping them is going to be involved in the treatment team. During planning, we're going to be focusing on setting goals and objectives for our clients. We're going to be setting long-term and short-term goals, and this is going to be super important for our clients so they know what they're working toward and they know how they can get better and what they need to be doing. And it's really good for them mentally to know what they're working for. So short term, 2 months or 2 weeks to a month, really short term, something they can accomplish soon. Long term could be anywhere from a year to after that when we're doing annual reviews. Also, we need to be looking at objectives. Objectives are the step-by-step checkpoints to our specific goals. Because a person that's learning how to walk isn't just going to learn how to walk by standing up and doing it. They have muscles they need to strengthen so that they are prepared to walk. They need to be able to stand first. They need to be able to sit themselves up. So our objectives are going to be measurable tasks that are going to be getting them to the point where they can accomplish their goals. Objectives need to be time sensitive and like a specific task. They need to know what conditions that task needs to occur in, and they need to know the criteria so that they know when they have accomplished that objective. Usually that is according to the rec therapist in charge, but sometimes it's whenever they reach a certain percentage or they accomplish a certain task. So that's super important. The next step is implementation. Implementation is putting our previously designed plan into action. During this part of the process, we, again, are going to be creating that safe environment and facilitating and supervising the programs that we have already planned. During this process, we're going to, again, be assessing and reevaluating and looking at the progress our client is making, seeing if our plan or our activities are even helping them. If we need to change our plans or our activities that we have for them, then we will do that. But we can only see that through evaluating and through reassessing. We need to update and modify their goals and objectives based on clients' needs, progress, a change in status. And again, that's through reevaluation that we know if those things need to be updated and changed. During specific activities, we need to be front loading and debriefing, which is basically talking to them beforehand and telling them certain things to think about, asking them certain questions to guide their thoughts during the activity. This will be super important because they'll get the most out of the activities if they are thinking about certain things or concentrating on a certain part of the activity. Afterward, we also need to debrief and talk to them about what they thought about the activity, if it helped them. And we need to see what their thoughts were on the things that we talked to them before the activity about. So it's super important so we can see if maybe those activities aren't effective for that person. And we'll only know that through talking to them. The next stage is evaluation. Again, important. I feel like I'm saying that for everything, but every step is so important in this process. The evaluation needs to mirror our original interview. So again, you're going to interview, you're going to ask the same questions, you're going to follow up on anything that happened during the process. And through mirroring the original interview, you can see what progress is made and see if maybe they need to work on this a little bit more. Maybe they're not quite done working on a certain aspect. This evaluation is super important because it'll let us know if our client is ready to leave, if they are done, if all progress has been made and there's nothing else we can do. But in the case that they haven't finished everything, this will let us know what we need to work on. And then we'll go right back up to planning the process and we'll start over and we'll see, okay, they've made this much progress, but now we need to focus on this. And how can we focus? This didn't work, this did, let's work on this. It'll be super important to really get our client moving and working on what they need to work on. If our client has finished the process and they have gotten all better and they're where they need to be, then we'll move to discharge. Discharge is important, just like everything else. Discharge we will focus on a plan for continuity of care and services. We're gonna talk to them about any necessary referrals. We're gonna talk about aftercare planning and follow-ups. If they need any equipment, if they need wheelchairs at home, if they need to find out where to get a van with wheelchair accessibility. These things are things that don't come naturally to people. People don't just know these things. We need to be able to help them and get them ready to get back to their real life and get on their own again. And we will fill out any discharge paperwork and we'll get them on their feet and out the door. And so that is the TR process. I hope you guys learned something.